Who we got on DC artists right now?
Dog for Paco Panama, nephew, shit, whatever you want to call me.
Okay. So I see that last month, you just dropped your Wire Volume 1 project, but we're going to talk about that later on. So, I'm trying to take it all the way back. So, where you from?
Up the hill.
Up there, okay.
The Den, Bellevue Street. If I ain't up there, then I'm on Congress Street, so like I can't forget about them too.
Okay, so Southside?
Yeah.
Whole life or?
Damn near, yeah. I lived uptown a little bit when I was young, but not really, you know what I'm saying? Southside, yeah.
Okay, so what was it like for you growing up?
I mean, shit, it was cool for me growing up. Like, my mother was a hustler, so it was cool for me growing up. You know what I'm saying? I was into sports and shit like that, like everybody else. Basketball, football, all that shit. Video games, wrestling, all that shit.
Okay. So you had your mother and your father in your life?
Nah, my father was locked up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Siblings?
Yeah. I got a sister and a brother.
Okay. And so, what was it like, not having your father in your life growing up?
Shit, that shit don't really affect you till you get a little older and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it affect you when you young, but when you get older and you really need that male, you know what I'm saying, guidance and shit, like, that's when it really hits you. It's like, you gotta, like, bump your head, like, trial and error type shit, whereas though, like, I could have just went and asked. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't ask your mother everything.
Right. Most definitely. So, like, how did growing up in that type of environment, make you into who you are now?
Shit, that shit just molded me to be, it molded me into the person I am today. Like, shit, I was raised around all go-getters, so whatever I want, I'm gonna go get that shit.
Okay. So now let's talk more about, your like music career.
Yeah.
So growing up, like, was your family like into the music at all?
Yeah, they was into rap, but ain't nobody rap or nothing like that. But like they listen to that shit like heavily.
Okay, then so how did you really get started though? Because I know growing up DC, we had go-go, so it wasn't really
Yeah, we
like a
had
rap
go-go,
thing.
but you gotta remember, like I was listening to the Hot Boys and shit like that, like the Hot Boys and like Jay-Z and niggas like that too. So like the Hot Boys was like a real big influence on me. That's like 98, some shit like that. I was young, but I remember that shit vividly, like the Hot Boys. Like I knew that shit word for word. And I started writing like little raps and shit, like on some poetry type shit for real.
Okay, so like, were you more like into the lyrics or, more so just like the beat?
It was the lyrics. Cause you can make a beat, you know what I'm saying? Like with what you say on the joint. You feel me? Like the beat might not be all that, but like if you saying some shit on there, they still gonna replay that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They gonna run that shit back.
Right, okay, so when did you kind of realize that, making music was what you wanted to do?
Shit, like 2014 or some shit like that. Like that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this shit, but still bullshitting at the same time. Like nigga ain't really like shit. When we start taking this shit serious, man, like 2020.
Yeah, like 2020.
Yeah, like 2020 for real. But like I've been doing this shit since 2014, but just not as consistent as I am right now. You feel me? Like I got old shit out back then and shit. Like I've been doing this shit, but every dog got his day. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas just gotta be consistent with this shit. And your time, you gonna catch your time, you gonna catch your wave.
Right, okay.
Or start a new wave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel that. Okay, so, like, after you made that choice, right, did you get like support, like from your family and stuff, or they wasn't really feeling it?
I mean, I got support from like the hood and shit, but like, nah, like my mother, she ain't like, man, you gonna be a rapper? Like, fuck. Like, that's like a a shot in a lifetime type shit of like being like an actual rapper and shit. Like, but now it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? She see what I got going on. Like, I take my mother out of town. Like, she see my billboards and shit in New York. So like, it's different now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so to her saying that and like having that mindset, you know, like did that kind of motivate you more to like prove her wrong or?
Nah, but you know, that's just, nah, it ain't motivate me because my mother gonna support me whatever I do, but it's just, you know, like, she just being a mother, like, you know how that shit is, like, she wants you to do some shit that's like, you know, more permanent and, you know what I'm saying?
Right, okay. So yeah, so you know, talk about your first time, you know, like performing at a show, you know, like what was that like? How did you prepare for it? You know, were you like satisfied with it?
Shit, my first time performing at a show probably was, shit, it probably wasn't even no show. It was probably like an open mic or some shit. But, nah, I wasn't really nervous or nothing. But this, like I said, this was like prior, like 2015, some shit like that.
Right, okay, so yeah, you know, since 2015, you know, you released a lot of popular songs, which I'll definitely get into too shortly though. But first, you know, how would you say your style is as far as rapping? Like,
shit, street knowledge. That's basically what it is. It's like street knowledge. Like, you gonna learn something from this shit. Like, and there's a lot of substance in my music. And I don't know, bro. Like, I be painting pictures. Like, it's real pictures, but I just be trying to make my music like as vivid as possible, if that makes sense.
right, okay, so do you like write or do you freestyle?
I do both. Like, some shit, like, I gotta write. You know what I'm saying? Cause like D Money, like, he freestyle everything. You know what I'm saying? Me, I freestyle, but then I write. Like, some shit, like, if I really like a beat, I take that motherfucker home and like write to it because I really want to say some shit on this joint. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I want everything to make sense what I'm saying. But like, some of the shit I freestyle be some of the best shit too. So like, it just depends on which mood I'm in.
Right, okay, so you just said, you know, if you actually like the beat, you're gonna take it home and, you know, write some stuff down. So like on average, I could say like, what's your process of like making a song? Like, you know, do you get inspiration from it, from anything or anybody, or, you know?
Yeah, I get inspiration from life, like everyday shit. Like, I could be watching a movie, I might get inspiration from the movie, or I might be listening to some old shit and get inspiration from that. You know what I'm saying? So like, shit, inspiration come from everywhere with me with this shit. Like, that's why my shit's so creative.
Okay, so how do you go about really, you know, choosing beats and stuff? Because I see that you work with, you know, quite a few producers.
Yeah. Shout out Coke. That's like my main producer, Cocaine on the Track. He did like Spawn and shit, ragged shit. Step One, White Tee. He did all that shit. But shout out Coke. I just want to shout out all the producers real quick before I answer your question. Shout out EA. Shout out Quando. Shout out Sale and A Money. Motherfucking shout out Band Up too. Yeah, who else we be fucking with, bro? Sean the Don. Shout out the whole track house. Face, Sean the Don. Yeah, Glock. Yeah. But to answer your question, like what you were saying, how I choose like my beats and shit?
Yeah.
Shit, like I just basically gotta feel that shit. Like when I first hear a beat, I know if I'm a rap on it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like it only take me like 5 seconds. And then certain joints I hear and I be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do something to this joint. Like this gonna be one of the ones. You know what I'm saying? So like that shit like easy for me. Like that's an easy process. Like that shit only take like 10 seconds for me to listen to a beat.